to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today on Around Kansas, join us for a short biography about actor and filmmaker Kevin Willmott. Then enjoy a story about Waterways, the Smithsonianexhibition traveling Kansas. Next, we'll have a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with a look at a trailer for a film about Wilt Chamberlain, Jayhawkers. Stay with us. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. Frank.
I'm Deb.
And this is Around Kansas. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for joining us. And I have to give a plug to my friend Robert Culbertson up at American Frontier Productions up at Easton. If you look back in our archives, we've done a few segments up there. That's where we did the interview with Wes Studi a couple of years ago. But he has another artist shoot coming up. And that will be, I think, in a couple of weeks. But you can go to his Facebook page, American Frontier Productions. And Robert invites artists. Artists pay to go take photographs of their models. And then they produce stunning works of art. Our mules, Minnie and Pearl, have been featured in some phenomenal pieces of artwork, award-winning pieces of art over the past year. So we're really proud of that. But Robert and these guys work so hard, and this place is such an asset to Kansas and such a resource. And people come down and think, you know, artists come from all over the country. Mark Maggiore, who did a couple of the paintings with Minnie and Pearl featured, is from France. He lives in LA now, and he's just this amazing young artist. So pass that word along and check out his Facebook page and support what he's doing, because it's a film set. You know, there's just so many uses for this place and his friends and associates, and they just work so hard.
Yeah.
So
Kansas is kind of Hollywood Central.
Isn't it?
I mean, think about all the filmmakers that are making films now, and that are from Kansas that have made films, written films, been in films. I mean, it really is incredible. It really is, and we're going to talk about Kevin Willmott later today. And Kevin is just an amazingly talented person, and just has so many accomplishments under his belt. But he teaches at KU, and I don't know if he actually taught them, because I think Kevin's younger, if I'm not mistaken. But some of the film students at KU, like Don Johnson and Kirstie Alley, studied at KU, and Princess Bride. What's his name? I know.
Oh man, that's killing me. I can see his face.
Yes.
Michael, what's his name from Princess Bride?
And he and Phil Grecian were in classes together at the same time.
Mandy Patinkin. Mandy Patinkin.
And Mandy left KU. And
so we have contributed some major stars to the big screen.
You know, Don
the little
Johnson,
screen.
It was a few years before I got there, but he worked at Aaronsburg Shoes in downtown Lawrence.
Really?
KU, yeah. And because they had his picture in there, and
boy, I bet the lady clientele was just.
I imagine,
I bet they were drawing them in with nets, weren't they, just to get Don Johnson to sell you shoes.
I miss Miami Vice. I thought that was great.
It was phenomenal. Do you remember how exciting it was when Miami Vice came on?
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, something new had just hit the screen, and it was very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah.
It was a phenomenon. It really was. And we can draw Kansas ties to anything, can't we, Frank?
Yes.
Stay with us and you'll see.
To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agamandkansas.com.
Welcome to the Jerry Thomas Gallery, where we feature my renowned artwork, frontier military, and Native American artifacts. Behind me, you see one of the paintings that are featured in the gallery. In the gallery, we not only try to feature the historical aspect, but also the artwork and the artifacts that go into the painting. Captured in the painting is some beautiful storm clouds, and the idea came from Homer Wheeler himself. He wrote in Buffalo Trails years later that a giant storm came up and the wind and hail obliterated the trail of his scattered cattle. So how I created the painting was I used the artifacts that you see here in the gallery and incorporated it to the chaps on his person and also the rope and the saddle and the tack on the horse to create the lifelike aspect of Lost Trail.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Here we are again. Aren't you excited?
I know I am.
Oh my. Well, we got started talking about filmmaking in the state of Kansas, and that's really kind of what we're doing today.
Yeah, a lot of focus on that, and deservedly so. Kevin Willmott, we've got a little bio coming up of Kevin. And as I was working on this, I thought it just doesn't do him justice. And what this bio, this piece doesn't tell you is what a gentle, beautiful soul Kevin is. He's this powerhouse of a person. He's an activist, and he's so passionate about causes, but he's such a gentle, beautiful soul, and we are so fortunate to have Kevin in Kansas. And we were talking about his family one day, and I can't remember if it was his grandfather, great-grandfather in Junction City where Kevin grew up, actually was a horse trader, and he would buy the horses that couldn't be gun broke from the cavalry. And so they had some nice farm horses around Junction City because, you know, they would get these good horses to train for cavalry work, and some of them couldn't cut it. And so that's what, it was
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
It does, but whoever thought about it? You know, I never thought about it. But Kevin's just a wonderful person, a fascinating man. Let's take a look. Kevin Willmott, writer, producer, and director of Jayhawkers, They Changed More Than the Game, is a veteran filmmaker. He wrote and directed the critically acclaimed feature CSA, Confederate States of America. A movie about America had the South won the war. After its premiere at the Sundance Film Festival, CSA was released in the U.S. and distributed in several foreign countries. The Only Good Indian, starring Wes Studi, premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in 2009. Willmott produced and directed The Battle for Bunker Hill, starring NYPD Blues' James McDaniel. 9th Street was his directorial debut, and the full feature film starred Martin Sheen and Isaac Hayes. Kevin grew up in Junction City, Kansas, and attended Marymount College, receiving his BA in drama. After graduation, he returned home, working as a peace and civil rights activist, fighting for the rights of the poor, creating 2 Catholic worker shelters for the homeless, and forcing the integration of several long-standing segregated institutions. He attended graduate studies at New York University, Tisch School of the Arts, receiving several writing awards and his MFA in dramatic writing. Willmott is an associate professor in the Film Studies Department of the University of Kansas. His newest film in the film festival circuit is Destination Planet Negro. Scott Richardson of Lawrence is also a writer-producer on Jayhawkers, and Laura Kirk is the executive producer.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
I had this horse. It was a good horse, except for when the wind was blowing above 30 miles an hour. Wind was blowing about 35, 40, and I saddled him up, rode him out to the end of the lane, and I thought, well, he's doing pretty good. And about 6 jumps later, I was laying on the ground and thinking, boy, my shoulders sure hurt. I kept waiting, and it didn't get better, and so I went to an orthopedic surgeon, and that showed that I had torn rotator cuff. And he said, well, we'll have to do surgery. I thought, I farm and ranch by myself. This is not going to work out very well. I'd been sleeping in my recliner for about 2.5 years because it hurt too much to sleep in bed on my side. And I'd heard about Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center on the radio and gotten down there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 11:30 the procedure was all over. They just took some fat out of my side here and spun that down for about 45 minutes and then injected it in my shoulders, and I was on my way. It's something you don't hear about, but I thought it was worth a try, and I'm really pleased. It's really worked out well for me.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. You know, if you're watching us not in Kansas, most people, especially on the East Coast, think that everything's flat and it's really dry. But we have a lot of water out here.
We do, and it's been a very wet season. It's still green in western Kansas, which is just unheard of, and there's water in places that hadn't seen water in a long time. But water is really important, and when we did our bus tour for our Western Kansas Expo a few weeks ago, Rolf Mandel, the state geologist and one of my favorite people, joined us. And one of the things that we talked about were the aquifers. So we talked about the Ogallala Aquifer, but also other aquifers. And when we were at Little Jerusalem, which is the new Nature Conservancy site, not yet open to the public, but they're working on it, that's not fed by that aquifer. And so Matt Bain, the director there, was talking about the water that feeds the springs there, and it was just fascinating. So this new exhibit from Smithsonian Waterways is traveling all over the state for the next several months. They just left Eudora, had a lot of great folks come and see it there, but it's traveling all over the state, and it's talking about, you know, why water's important, and just, it sounds really simple, but I think the quote they have on the website was W.H. Auden, a lot of people have lived without love, but nobody's made it without water.
Well, that's it. Think about it. Towns and cities grew up because they started next to a river or a creek or
the access to water.
Yeah,
exactly. So go see it, folks.
The Kansas Humanities Council is pleased to announce an exclusive Kansas tour of Waterways, a traveling exhibition from the Smithsonian Institution. Several Kansas communities are hosting the Smithsonian exhibition for 6 weeks. The exhibit just left Eudora, where it had a very successful showing, and will be open in Colby August 12th and will remain through September 24th. Waterways focuses on the numerous relationships between people and water. How has water shaped our history and traditions? How does it impact our daily life? And what does the future hold for water? KHC sponsors Waterways in Kansas in partnership with Smithsonian Institution's Museum on Main Street program, a one-of-a-kind cultural project that serves residents of rural America. Support for the Museum on Main Street has been provided by the U.S. Congress. The other Kansas locations hosting waterways are the Boot Hill Museum, Dodge City, the Public Library, Heston, the Gary County Historical Society, Junction City, and the museum at Prairie Fire in Overland Park. For more information, visit the Kansas Humanities Council website.
Fort Wallace stood on the frontier in the midst of the Plains Indians Wars on a major stage route and rail line. Beside the 1865 stagecoach station, a modern museum with thousands of artifacts tell that story, like the fossil of a 40-foot plesiosaur is suspended from the ceiling. Located on Highway 40 midway between Hayes and Colorado Springs, the Fort Wallace Museum is as welcome a sight today as the fort itself in the 1860s. Discover the fightingest fort in the West.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This is Eric Stonestreet, and as many of you know, I love my home state of Kansas. In March, Kansas ranchers lost homes, equipment, and thousands of cattle from the largest wildfires in the state's history. Imagine losing all you have in a fire. Not just your house, but your livelihood. Ranchers are beginning to rebuild, but it will take years and tens of millions of dollars to build back herds, fences, and other infrastructure. Today, I'm asking you to help. Donate what you can and show your support to the ranchers of Kansas. Simply go to kansasfires.com. Your donation is tax deductible and will go to those who need it the most.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
You wouldn't have a Roy Rogers without a trigger. You wouldn't have a Lone Ranger without silver. And in the history of the cowboy, the horse was the essential partner. This poem is entitled, Here's to the Horse. The history of the West from earliest time is based on the wonderful species equine. The animal of which I speak, of course, is that wonderful critter we call the horse. Without the horse, how would life be changed for the Plains Indian or the cowboy on the range? The horse is more than a hard-working steed. He's a faithful companion, a quiet friend indeed. A trained horse with a good rider at a rodeo makes a team that puts on a great show. There's nothing better than setting a saddle on a trail ride or gathering cattle. So let's all give thanks for this discourse for the wonderful critter we call the horse. Happy trails.
Buffalo Bill Cody earned his legendary title in Oakley. Bring the family and come celebrate Oakley's pioneering history and unique geography at two sites, the Buffalo Bill Cultural Center and the Fick Fossil Museum. Cody's statue marks his achievements and welcomes visitors to the Cultural Center. The Fick Fossil Museum houses world-class fossils and artifacts. You'll find Oakley at the hub of U.S. Highways 83 and 40 and I-70. Stop for the legend. Stay for the day. Discover Oakley.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways, of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide. Presented by Lucas Oil. Featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV. The all-new Better Horses Network.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. By the way, if you just tuned in, this is Around Kansas. I'm Frank, she's Deb, and we're here on Wednesdays and online.
And we are every day online.
Yeah.
Any time of the, you don't even have to wake us up. You don't have to bother us. It won't bother us in the least for you to watch in the middle of the night. Just tune in.
Yeah.
In fact, we might prefer that. Watch on your own time, folks. We have people, and this is terrible, but people come up to me, where can I find your show? And I said, just find it online, because now we're on so many places, Frank, I can't keep up. And I told Heather the other day, I said, I got to have a card or something to keep up with all the places and times that we air, because we're all over the place. And Jerry Thomas came up and said, I've had so many people comment on my ad, and from Oklahoma and different states, so they're obviously watching online. And then, of course, we do get down into the other adjacent states. So we're just everywhere, all over the place.
I saw a number once of 68,000. That's a pretty good audience.
That's a pretty good audience. And speaking of good audiences, this film Jayhawkers, and this, while Jayhawkers means a lot of things in Kansas and Missouri, this is about Wilt Chamberlain playing at KU. And I can remember Mary Turkington. You remember Mary Turkington?
Mm-hmm.
We should build a statue to Mary. When she was at KU, she talked about Chamberlain coming back one day, and she went up and met him and said, I just loved seeing you on the court. So he was, but this is a fantastic film. Fantastic film. So watch for the screenings and watch for its availability.
Yeah, called Jayhawkers.
Jayhawkers.
In a time where we were confined to our designated areas, there he was standing in the middle of it all.
Wilt is a natural-born athlete, maybe the greatest ever. Everybody in the country's after this kid.
I want him here, at Kansas.
The greatest coach and the greatest player. Everyone knew together they would dominate.
They're waiting for us, Wilton. You and me. You ready for it?
Are you?
Get in the kitchen or get out.
Welcome to Kansas. Negroes are closed out of almost everything on this campus and in this town. I think we might have the opportunity to change that.
I'm not Jackie Robinson.
All I ask of you, Wilton, is one thing. Be yourself.
Yeah, y'all come on down. Really, come down. Come down here.
They cannot sit there.
Well, it looks like they're sitting.
Since Wilt's been here, things are getting better.
Now, remember, he's still just one man.
You've never seen him, have you?
I've made my decision.
I will not go down without a fight.
You have nothing left to prove to anyone. Nothing.
I'm gonna run you back to Kansas.
Call a foul when you see it. They're murdering him out there.
They don't want us to win. They think we're Goliath. We're David. So let's put one right between their eyes.
I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere
Around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Oh, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes. Hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream.